All right, good morning, everyone. Trust you guys are having a brilliant moment out there. All right, so in case you're new to this channel, I'm going to advise you and encourage you to actually click on the subscribe button. It's going to help you so you can get notification of new videos and are quite insightful and enlightening. A lot of people who have subscribed, they can actually tell that the channel has blessed them more that they could imagine. All right, so in today's section, we're looking at something quite wonderful, and that is to talk to you about absolute adjectives. Well, I think there are two basic reasons why it's important for us to talk about absolute adjectives. Now, the first one is quite simple, is that even seasoned writers, professionals, also goof when they're using these adjectives, all right? So a lot of people, like I mentioned, including professionals and also language teachers like myself, when we write, when we speak, sometimes we actually misuse or abuse these very adjectives. And that's because yeah, we try to etch them, we try to modify them, and also unconsciously we try to, improve on them. And absolute adjectives by their very nature, they are extreme adjectives. And when you say they are extreme adjectives, it simply means they are adjectives and they are 100%. All right. So in fact, you can even call them 100% adjectives, and that simply means they do not make any room for comparison. Of course, it's common for you to grade adjectives. Take for example, let's say you have a beautiful lady out there. You can say, okay, she's more beautiful. This is the most beautiful lady. You can say, I've just graded out adjective beautiful, more beautiful, and most beautiful. But that's fine. And the same thing is also, applicable to maybe a negative adjective, maybe ugly, uglier, and ugliest. All right. But then for absolute adjectives, all right, they do not make themselves available for gradability, and that simply means you absolutely cannot compare them. All right, not that you cannot be just compare them, you also cannot modify them. They are unmodifiable, which simply means you cannot use maybe words like slightly, almost, nearly, within. Think about this example, and it actually forms one of the common mistakes I tend to listen, or I tend to hear every now and again. Take for example, let's think about the word dead. When someone is dead, all right, it's common to hear people say, "Oh, is he almost dead? Is he absolutely dead? Is he completely dead?" You see, dead is an absolute adjective. All right, when someone is either dead or they're alive. Okay, so if they are dead, they're gone. If they're alive, they're still with us. All right, so once you say dead, the word dead, once it's pronounced, that's the end. All right, so someone cannot be almost dead. They cannot be nearly dead. All right. The once we have the word dead, that's final. All right. And that's because the word is an absolute adjective. It's a certainty adjective. All right. For your information, you see, absolute adjectives, maybe because they are special adjectives, they have also earned themselves, several names. Take, for example, we also call them ultimate adjectives. Ultimate, that means 100%. We also call them intensive adjectives. We also call them incomparable adjectives. And I think this makes a lot of sense because it tells you almost immediately that you are dealing with a set of adjectives that would not yield themselves to comparison of any form. All right. And lastly, we call them non-gradable adjectives. All right. I beg your pardon. I think I wrote non-graded, non-gradable. All right. This is supposed to be non-gradable. So we have the non-gradable adjectives. All right. So when we talk about the non-gradable adjectives, we basically mean that they cannot be graded just like I've mentioned. All right, let's take at some of the features. At least this will be very good as a form of highlights. They are unmeasurable. And when you say they're unmeasurable, you cannot compare them. For example, when something is empty, sometimes I hear people say something is the glass is half empty. How can the glass be half empty? If it's empty, it's empty. All right. So they say something like it's half empty, or you get to hear something like it's full. Okay, it full is even correct. Maybe you get to hear something like it's totally full. You see, something is either full or not. All right. You see, these are words that are absolute. These are adjectives that are non-gradable. All right. Secondly, they are incomparable. Think about other adjectives where you can add more or most to them. All right. I think I give some examples here all the time. Remember the examples of ugly, the example of beautiful. You can actually grade them. All right. But then the absolute adjectives cannot make themselves, I would want to use the language. They wouldn't make themselves that easily comparable. All right. So this is one unique. All right. So, and I think this is really very funny. When you do a product review, you look at, you read some of the leaflets, you read some of the, you know, papers written, maybe companies reports, annual report, and you get to see in an attempt to impress in an attempt to impress maybe the people, the customers, the shareholders, we can hear them use stuff like, "Oh, it is the most unique time." All right, it cannot be the most unique time. It's just a unique time, and that's perfect. All right, and that leads me to perfect. When something is perfect, it simply means there is no adjustment to that. All right, so you must see absolute adjectives as 100% adjectives. They are adjectives that do not allow you to modify them. They are adjectives that do not allow you to do or make any form of adjustment to them. All right, so I think we have about 20 examples here. All right, so let me just quickly rush through them. Okay, we have unique, crucial, perfect, full, superior, complete, senior, empty, inferior, hopeless, supreme, dead, original, empty, fatal, sufficient, senior, genuine, certain, silent, irreplaceable. All right, think about irreplaceable. I mean, I think about someone say it's totally irreplaceable. When you say something is irreplaceable, it means there's nothing we can do about it. So why the word totally? So the word totally is it just it's an extra that is not it's an extra that should be let go. So you don't need that kind of extra no some word to complete that. So you look at this, when you also look at the word original, please do not forget that they're also unmodifiable. When you say something is original, sometimes you can hear someone says, okay, it's mostly original. All right, it's absolutely original. When you say something is original, I mean, you don't need all of those hedgers, as we sometimes call them, or technically speaking, you do not have to grade them. All right, so friends, I think we have come to the end of this very short B video. You will remember we just talked to you about absolute adjectives. Remember, there are certain adjectives that are extreme. We could also refer to them as extreme adjectives. They are complete adjectives. They are adjectives in their full form. They are 100% adjectives, and that simply means you cannot adjust them, you cannot modify them, you cannot compare them. All right, so till I see you in my next section, please do click the subscription button. Thank you.